Anna and Igor had been together for more than 3 years. They were the kind of couple everyone admired, traveling together, making plans, even searching for a shared apartment. But one day, during a trip with friends, Anna gave in to a moment of weakness. She kissed another man, thinking it would remain a small secret buried deep inside her. At first, guilt consumed her, but over time she learned to hide it. She smiled at Igor, cooked him breakfast, sent him sweet messages. Sometimes she even convinced herself that nothing had happened. But the truth has a strange way of surfacing. Igor started noticing little things. How Anna avoided his eyes, how she kept her phone under the pillow, how she grew nervous whenever that trip was mentioned. One evening, he stumbled upon Anna's old messages. There was no direct confession, but just enough to connect the dots. He stayed silent for a few days, watching her, almost giving her the chance to confess. But Anna remained silent. When he finally spoke, his voice was calm, almost quiet. "Why did you think I would never find out?" Anna turned pale. All the excuses she had prepared vanished. She only whispered, "I was afraid of losing you." Igor gave a sad smile. "Now you've lost me, not because of the betrayal, but because of the lie." That night, they broke up. And though Anna kept writing him letters afterward, Igor never replied. He believed that love can sometimes survive a mistake, but not a long, deliberate lie. After the breakup, Anna couldn't find peace. She wrote Igor long letters he never opened. She came to his building but never dared to go upstairs. Her friends told her to move on, but she stubbornly held on to the past. Months passed. Igor started a new life. He took courses, worked hard, met new people. He never spoke about Anna, but there was still a shadow of pain in his eyes. Anna tried to change herself. She left her old crowd, started volunteering, read a lot. She realized that her biggest mistake wasn't the betrayal itself, but her fear of being honest. One evening they met by chance in a bookstore. Anna froze, staring at him as if seeing him for the first time again. Igor stopped too, his gaze calm, even warm. "Hi," she said softly. "Hi," he replied. They talked for a few minutes, about books, about life, like old friends. Anna realized she would never get a second chance. But she also realized something else. Sometimes love doesn't teach us how to keep someone, but how to change ourselves so we never repeat the same mistakes again. Several years had passed. Anna had become a different person. She graduated from university, got a good job, traveled, and even found new love. With her new partner, she built a healthy, honest relationship, without secrets or fear. But sometimes, sitting with a book by the window, she thought of Igor. Not with pain or hope, but with gratitude. Because of him, she learned that love is not only about passion and tenderness, but also about responsibility. She never allowed herself to betray or hide the truth again. And every time she looked at her new partner, she knew, without that past mistake, she would never have learned to value honesty so deeply. Igor remained a part of her story, the part that changed her forever. More than 10 years had passed since that evening when they broke up. Anna now lived in another city, had a family, and a little daughter. Her life was calm and fulfilling, yet sometimes the past surfaced in the most unexpected moments. One day, on her way to a conference, she spotted Igor at the airport. He was standing near a cafe, holding a laptop, looking confident and more mature. At first, she hesitated to approach, but something inside told her it was time to close that chapter. "Igor?" she said softly. He turned and recognized her instantly. "Anna." His voice carried more calmness than surprise. They sat at the same table, and the conversation flowed easily. They reminisced about friends, old trips, laughed at little things. And only at the end did Anna quietly say, "Back then, many years ago, I never thanked you." "For what?" he asked, raising his eyebrows. "For teaching me to value the truth." Igor smiled. "And I thank you for teaching me how to let go." They said goodbye without regret. Each walked their own path, but both felt that their story was no longer a burden, just a memory that had made them stronger. As Anna boarded her plane, she looked out the window, the clouds spreading beneath like an endless sea. She thought of Igor and realized that the weight she had carried for so long had finally lifted. For the first time in years, she felt free, not from him, but from her own past. Meanwhile, Igor walked toward his gate with a steady step. He wasn't angry, not anymore. Meeting Anna had felt like finding an old photograph in a forgotten drawer. A glimpse of who he once was, but no desire to return. He smiled to himself, knowing that the wound which had once defined him had truly healed. Weeks passed, then months. Anna continued her life with her daughter, embracing the small joys, bedtime stories, drawings on the kitchen wall, quiet evenings by the lamp. Yet sometimes, when her daughter laughed in a way that reminded her of her younger self, she thought, mistakes don't destroy us. They shape us. Igor, on the other hand, dedicated himself to his work and later found someone new. It wasn't the fiery, reckless love of youth. It was quieter, steadier, built on trust and honesty. He knew now what he needed, and more importantly, what he could give. Years later, when both Anna and Igor were older, their lives entirely separate, they would still remember each other, not as the ones who broke each other's hearts, but as the ones who taught each other lessons no one else could. In the end, theirs was not a story of tragedy, but of growth. A story that began in love, broke in betrayal, but ended in wisdom. And perhaps that was its true purpose all along.